What's up, guys? I've been getting back into photography, specifically film photography, because I already have the cameras, so I just had to buy the film, and that's cheaper than buying like a really expensive digital camera for me. So film is flawed but it is awesome. It looks really cool. It has a great aesthetic. I've been shooting on my Minolta SRT 201, and that thing takes pretty nice photos. That thing takes some pretty freaking nice photos. You do have to set the exposure yourself and get everything in focus, so you can fudge it up, and it would be all your fault, which, so there's that. So over here, though, I recently decided to use this, which is an Olympus Infinity af-1. This is a film point-and-shoot camera, so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to set the exposure. You don't have to worry about anything. You press the button and it takes a photo and it goes to the next. Super easy. This thing is super beginner friendly, and it's pretty dang cheap. You can get one of these on eBay for like $40. Just make sure it's tested and working before you buy. But $40, that's pretty cheap. So cool, right? This is sounding pretty good. Now, my problem with this camera is I think it takes pretty bad photos. I think this thing takes pretty bad photos, and to be fair, I guess a disposable film camera doesn't take the best photos either, and this does have the look and feel of a disposable camera. That is gonna sound pretty cool to some people, and I'm gonna show you guys the photos. There is definitely an aesthetic to the photos that I got from this thing. The problem I have with it is that I couldn't, sometimes I really wanted my subject to be in focus, and it just wasn't doing it. And that sucks sometimes. Another thing is the flash. The flash on this thing, you cannot control. And that's a big deal, because even like a disposable camera these days, you can turn the flash on and off whenever you want to use it. So if you don't want the flash, you don't have to use the flash on the thing. If you want the flash, you can use the flash. With this thing, it just detects and goes off whenever it thinks there's not enough light. That is so annoying when you want to use the flash when it's, daylight outside, you can't. And sometimes when it's a little dark, you don't want to use the flash and it goes off anyway. So that's another thing that sucks about this camera. But I would say that overall, if you didn't care about any of that, if none of that scared you, you're being nitpicky, then you might like this camera. Like, if you like the look that a disposable camera from Walmart brings, and you want to be able to save money getting those kind of photos, this is a good idea. If you really like that look and you look at these photos I took, I think most of them were meh. Like, a lot of them were overexposed, which you can kind of fix in post, I guess. They do have a cool aesthetic, I guess, in a way. I used some really cheap film for this. I used some Kodak Gold. So cheap. Awesome. But yeah, I just was not that impressed with the results, though, because these things are really hyped up right now. These point-and-shoot film cameras are super hyped right now. And man, I just think they should for the hype, they should be a little better. That's my only gripe with it, because they have like lenses that are, it's got a lens that's supposed to be better than a disposable, but I don't think it looked much better than a disposable. So, but yeah, I mean, I wouldn't blame you if you thought these things were cool.